How do you go from being worth over $34 billion and the biggest competitor of Elon Musk to a criminal being charged with fraud just 2 years later? This is the story of Trevor Milton. To understand what got him into this mess, we need to go all the way back to November 2009, the day he started D-Hybrid Inc., a small company that promised to convert traditional diesel semi-trucks into a more fuel-efficient EV semi-truck. Before D-Hybrid, Trevor had started 2 companies. One of them was sold for $300,000, the other one failed, and neither company had anything to do with EV technology or the trucking industry. Even though Trevor had business experience, he needed someone with technical expertise to help make his vision a reality. Someone like Mike Shrout, an engineer who had developed CNG conversion technology for diesel engines. With Mike and Trevor working together, they got off to a pretty good start. Shortly after launching D-Hybrid, Trevor contacted the CEO of Swift Transportation, Jerry Moyse, to showcase their new conversion technology. Trevor and Mike flew out to Phoenix and demonstrated D-Hybrid's technology on a converted pickup truck to Moyse at Swift's Phoenix facility. Moyse was apparently so impressed with the demo that Swift signed a development agreement agreeing to pay $2 million for a 9% stake in D-Hybrid. In return, Swift wanted D-Hybrid to convert 10 trucks for testing with a commitment to convert 800 trucks thereafter. This deal had the potential of bringing in $16 million for D-Hybrid if everything went right. But unfortunately, almost immediately this deal went south because Trevor failed to deliver on his end of the agreement. Swift actually ended up filing a lawsuit in mid-2012 for 3 main reasons. Reason number 1, only 5 trucks had been delivered instead of the promised 10. Reason number 2, the performance of the trucks didn't live up to what Trevor had promised. And reason number 3, the millions of dollars that Swift had invested had been used for personal reasons by Trevor and Mike. As the lawsuits started closing in and D-Hybrid's money started running out, Trevor got desperate. Trevor started reaching out to new investors, making even bolder claims about the size of the Swift contract and how well the technology was actually performing. One such contact was made through an email to Anthony Burns, the former CEO of Ryder Systems. In this email, Trevor made several claims, most of which seemed to be outright lies. Trevor claimed that D-Hybrid was saving Swift 38% on their fuel bill when, in reality, the Swift data showed savings of no higher than 24%. He also claimed that D-Hybrid had signed a $250 million contract with Swift, but as we already know, the contract was only for $16 million. Trevor tried his hardest to sell his way out of this mess, but these lies weren't enough to protect him from the lawsuits. As a last-ditch effort, Trevor started a new company in 2012 with his dad called, wait for it, D-Hybrid Systems. That's right. Trevor opened up a brand new company with a very similar name to the original D-Hybrid, so he could cut out his original business partners while holding on to all of the accomplishments of D-Hybrid. This strategy actually ended up working for Trevor because just 2 years later, in 2014, he was able to sell D-Hybrid Systems, a company built on lies and deception, to Worthington Industries for $15.9 million. Now, most people would have just cashed in on their luck and enjoyed the rest of their life in comfort, but for Trevor, the scam was just getting started. In 2014, Trevor started the infamous Nikola Motors, the same company that would end up making him a billionaire and a criminal. Trevor's goal with Nikola was simple. He wanted to create a semi-truck completely powered by hydrogen instead of diesel. Tesla had been working on their own battery-powered semi-truck for years now, so for a startup like Nikola to develop something similar, it should have taken them decades to create. But just 2 years after starting Nikola, Trevor did the impossible. In 2016, Trevor announced to the world that his team had created a fully functioning electric semi-truck, the Nikola One, which he would show live at the end of the year. This announcement blew up on social media all across the world. Leading up to the event, questions were asked whether the semi-truck would be a design unveiling or a functional prototype. Nikola confirmed that it would be a functioning and fully built truck at the event. Many people doubted Trevor's claims, but on the day of the event, he shocked the world. There it was, the Nikola 1, a fully functioning electric semi-truck that could run 1,200 miles on a full charge. Trevor Milton, a college dropout and alarm system salesman, had somehow managed to create an electric truck before Tesla, a company with billions of dollars, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and a team full of the brightest minds in the world. The media ate up this David and Goliath story, which only brought more investors and more money for Nikola. However, the hype couldn't last forever. As time passed and the hype from the December 2016 event faded with no major updates, people started asking questions about the Nikola 1. To keep the hype train going, Nikola released a video on YouTube titled Nikola 1 in Motion that caught everyone's attention. In the video, there was a Nikola 1 truck driving on a level road at a high rate of speed. This video went viral all over social media, which led to thousands of pre-orders for the Nikola truck, and just 2 years later, in 2020, Nikola went public. Shares of Nikola spiked, and many inexperienced investors got in on the action thinking that they were getting in on the ground floor of the next Tesla. Overnight, Trevor became a multi-billionaire and a social media celebrity. The hype was so crazy that he even managed to get GM to invest $2 billion into Nikola, valuing the total company at $32 billion. But the celebration stopped soon because just 2 days after this GM deal was official, it all came crashing down for Nikola. On September 10th, 2020, the Hindenburg Research published a detailed report exposing all of Trevor's lies. The Nikola 1 event in 2016, where Trevor bragged about creating a fully functional electric semi-truck, it was all a lie. An inside source leaked pictures to the Hindenburg Research that showed how Nikola's truck looked just 3 months before the event, and as you can see, this quote-unquote truck was just a few frame rails with wheels mounted to a suspension. Not only that, but Trevor also had H2 stenciled on the side of the truck, indicating that this truck was being powered by hydrogen, when in fact it had no such capability. Leading up to the event, he also promised everyone that this was a fully functioning semi-truck, when in fact, this truck could not even power itself, let alone drive. So, an electric cable was snaked up through the stage to make sure that at least the lights and the in-cabin displays were working. Even after the show, text messages between former employees show that the truck was just being used as a way to bring in more investors, and behind the scenes, no one was working on building the Nikola 1 anymore. But what about that YouTube video of the Nikola 1 driving on a road? Turns out, it was all staged. More leaked texts from a former employee show that the video was just a result of Nikola towing the truck to the top of a hill and letting it roll down. A team of internet detectives were actually able to find the stretch of road that was used to shoot this video, and they were able to confirm that this was in fact shot downhill. Just 4 days after this report went public, the SEC and Department of Justice started an investigation to look into potential securities fraud committed by Trevor Milton and Nikola. And just 6 days after the investigation started, Trevor Milton resigned from his position as executive chairman of Nikola Corporation. But don't worry, because as part of his exit package, Trevor held on to 91.6 million shares of Nikola that were worth around $3.1 billion when he left. Just a year later, in July of 2021, the United States federal grand jury returned an indictment against Trevor Milton that included 3 counts of criminal fraud. He also faces civil securities fraud charges from the SEC, but he surrendered to the authorities and pled not guilty to the charges and was let go on bail for $100 million. Trevor is currently on trial for all of his charges, and several key executives of the company have testified against him. Since this case is still pending, everything I've mentioned is alleged, but if Trevor is found guilty, He has not only screwed over all of the investors that made him a billionaire, but also the hardworking innocent people at Nikola who believed in Trevor's dreams. Unfortunately, Trevor is not the only shady character in the trucking industry. Mega carriers have been taking advantage of new truck drivers for years now, and they might be ripping you off too. If you want to find out how they're doing it, make sure you watch this video right here. And if you want to find out how bad the truck parking shortage really is, make sure you watch this video right here. With that being said, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.